2, Alvin's favorite son, Nolan Ryan, still heats up his fastball to a blazing 95 miles per hour. Roger Clemens is only 26, but the pride of Katy has already won 2 Cy Young Awards. Today, these 2 Texas flamethrowers face off for the first time. From Arlington Stadium, Home Sports Entertainment presents Texas Rangers Baseball. This exclusive presentation is brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste that makes Budweiser the king of beers. For all you do, this Bud's for you. And by Texaco, star of the American Road. In less than 24 hours, the Texas Rangers have sold out Arlington Stadium twice. Today, they meet the Boston Red Sox in the 3rd game of this weekend series, and it'll be a record crowd for the 3 dates before this weekend is over. Hello again, everybody. I'm Merle Herman along with Norm Hitzges. Well, I haven't seen anything like this for a long time, Norm. People outside, still outside. It's been announced it's a sellout. They're still out there trying to get tickets.
Tell you what, Merle, they're often not regarded very highly by the people in this area. But one of the measures of success as a franchise is scalpers. And there were scalpers out front today. It's been, what do you think, David Clyde, the last time you saw tickets being scalped, 1973 debut here?
Back to 73 is the report that we got the last time we saw scalpers outside the stadium. A tremendous media hype on this weekend, though, and a media hype on the Texas Rangers from Sports Illustrated to the 3 local papers.
Well, this is a matchup that's a dream. The Rockets of the 70s and 80s are Ryan and Clemens, the aging fireballer for Texas, his obvious successor for Boston. These 2 hold records. Oh, they're all over the record book. And Merle, the nice thing is they're both in form. Ryan comes off a 1-hitter against Toronto. Clemens comes off a 3-hit, 11-strikeout bashing of the White Sox. This is the type of game you may well 20 years from now be saying to yourself, hey, I saw Ryan and Clemens pitch against each other.
Nolan Ryan wants a good game today the worst way. After 1 month with the Rangers, in visiting with Nolan Ryan, we asked him what he is looking for at this stage of his Ranger career.
Well, the thing I look for is more consistency in myself. I haven't had a good game here in Arlington Stadium yet. I've had 2 good games on the road, and so what I would like to see is that each outing be more consistent, and I think that's probably a reflection of the lack of work I got in spring training.
And I think that tells you the way that Nolan Ryan approaches his profession every day, always wanting to be better.
Well, he set an example for some people for 20 years in baseball. He's the guy that Clemens obviously measures himself against. He's the guy that a lot of the young Rangers follow around like puppy dogs now. Ryan is a guy who will set, well, he's already got 41 Major League records to his credit. And let's face it, Merle, if somebody's going to wipe out those records, given health, it could well be Roger Clemens.
I get a kick out of some of the things that Clemens had to say as he was growing up down in the Houston area about going to the Astrodome and trying to sneak down into the better seats just to get a closer look at Nolan Ryan.
Well, you know, this is one of those special days. There's electricity in the air whenever Clemens pitches for Boston and whenever Ryan pitches for Texas, because you know that on any given day, something truly special could happen. Would you believe double special today?
I would think, I would think that what we don't want to see today, what every fan in this ballpark doesn't want to see is, a fella, either one of these pitchers to get off to a bad start. I mean, they really want to see this confrontation in this match.
This might be one of the few days that the fans would love to see nothing into the 12th.
And there have been some great games between great pitchers in the past, and we'll talk about those when we go on this afternoon. The Texas Rangers have taken the field. They've held the game up just a little bit to let this big crowd in, but we'll be underway very shortly with the start of today's game right after these messages. Do you see any empty seats in the ballpark today? I see none. Nolan Ryan goes to the mound and the crowd responds. They see number 34 jogging out to the hill. They pick it up. Great anticipation. I'll tell you what, I've been around this game a long time, but I don't recall any crowd response like the one we have here today, Norm. It just kind of baffles me. I've really tried to almost go back year by year, and I don't recall anything like this.
It's one of those happenings, Merle, that I tell you what, if we wanted to ask $10 for a seat up in our booth tonight, we could have made some money.
Well, it's still not too late. Let's go to the batting order for the Boston Red Sox. And leading off at third base today will be Wade Boggs, Danny Heap in right field, Ellis Burks in center field, Mike Greenwell in left field, Jim Rice, the DH, Nick Esaski at first base, Rich Gedman is catching, Jody Reed will be at shortstop, Eddie Romero at second base, and the pitcher Roger Clemens is 3-0. Now the defense for Texas will go from right field to left field. Sierra in right, Espy in center, Leach in left. Infield third to first, Buechele, Fletcher, Franco, and Palmeiro. Gino Petralli is catching. Nolan Ryan is ready.
Nolan Ryan, like the old gunfighter, just keeps walking down Main Street and pulling the trigger. At 42 years old, Ryan makes his 5th of the year. He came within 2 outs of pitching his 6th career no-hitter in his last outing a week ago today in Toronto. It was the 15th game of Ryan's career that he allowed no hits or 1 hit, tying Bob Feller's all-time record. Ryan's pitched 2 beauties on the road. At home, he struggled, and we'll tell you just how deeply he struggled, Merle, during the Boggs at bat.
And the breaking ball starts it off, and it's 1 ball and no strikes to Wade Boggs, who's hitting .300 coming into the series. Seems like when you write down a batting champion for a year, you just automatically put Boggs right in there at the top. It's 2-0, says the plate umpire Steve Palermo. Even he's juiced up. Look at him, clapping his hands. Let's go, gang.
Well, you know, Merle, this is a good game to have Palermo behind the plate because Steve has a reputation as a very good ball and strike umpire.
Ooh. Very close, but not close enough. 3-0 to Wade Boggs. The outfield is playing Boggs around to the left. Steve Palermo behind the plate. Durwood Merrill at first base. Don Dickinger at second and Larry McCoy at third. And a walk to Wade Boggs to start the first inning.
Wade Boggs, amongst his many accomplishments, also may have the best batting eye in the major leagues. Boggs simply does not strike out, was the toughest to strike out last year. But Merle, lost amongst Boggs' accomplishments as a hitter is the fact that he's now walked 335 times in the last 3 years. Wow.
He finds a way to get aboard.
Yes, he does.
Danny Heap, the right fielder, hitting at .250. Dwight Evans sitting this one out today. Ooh, 1-0. Ryan, as you can tell by that pitch, is not missing by much. 1 ball and no strikes to Danny Heap. Top of the first inning. We have just started if you've just flipped your TV on. And Danny Heap at the plate. Fouled away. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Danny is 25 years old, facing the 42-year-old Nolan Ryan. In fact, there are only 2 Red Sox players on this roster, if you will, who have ever faced Nolan Ryan in a game. Dwight Evans and Jim Rice. 78 degrees, beautiful day for baseball.
Doesn't that say something about the longevity of Rice and Evans, though? It's 10 years since Ryan's pitched in this league. They were regulars back then.
Could be a pair. 1 there, and no. Just missed. So Heap becomes the base runner. Julio Franco trying to trigger the DP, but Heap was able to beat the relay.
You beat Durwood Merrill at first base. Safe or out? Out. Looked like the throw had him beat. Merrill signals safe, and the Red Sox still have a runner.
So with 1 gone, Ellis Burks comes up with 2 home runs in the game last night. 4 homers and 14 RBIs for the year. Ellis, I don't know what he did about getting tickets today with this game sold out. That's what he's done in the series. Of course, he's from Fort Worth. And a breaking ball hits the corner as Ryan zeroes in with a breaking stuff. Coaching at third is Rack Slider. Great baseball name, huh? Al Bumbry at first. Was Rack a good slider?
Al was.
He sure was. Joe Morgan, coaching at, or rather managing for Boston. He used to be on the coaching lines until last year when he took over the ball club.
Oh,
and
wow.
that ball hit the bat or hit the helmet.
Hit the helmet. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. If there was the tape that shows you how important the batting flap is that comes down over the cheek and ear of a hitter, this is it.
You could hear that pop.
Oh, my God, Merle.
As the ball either hit the helmet first, sometimes it'll hit that bat, but we'll only know in the replay.
Merle, I think this ball got him right on the ear hole on the flap. Oh, my. Whoever invented the flap for the helmet just saved Ellis Burks a major.
You know, I think it hit him on the shoulder first. He got it in a glancing blow.
Little glance, yes, indeed. What a frightening specter to be hit by a Ryan or a Clemens.
If that ball did hit him on the shoulder first, it appeared that it did. It changed the flight of the ball so that it was going up, and then kind of hit the flap even on a glancing blow. So let's study it a little closer and see what we can see here now. Okay. Hit the shoulder, then caromed up and hit the flap. So it took a little bit of the blow away. See, he doesn't get hit solid. Shoulder took it first. Looks like Burks is going to be removed from the game, however, as a precautionary measure, and that's a good move.
I can't imagine that Ellis Burks isn't just frightened right now, Merle. One more thing. This is not a knock on this stadium. It's a knock on stadiums in general. In day games with bright sunlight and big crowds, and this stadium in particular can be one of the tougher places to pick up the ball. That's why they have the green canvas in center field to provide a better hitting background, but it's still tough to pick up the ball.
Randy Kutcher is going to run and go into the ball game to replace Ellis Burks.
That's a big stick out of the Boston lineup. But thankfully, it looks like Burks was not hurt badly.
So here is Greenwell with 2 men aboard, fouling off the first pitch for strike one. Well, one of the things that was heartening was that Burks didn't even go to the ground. And that kind of led us to believe that it was not a serious injury. But they take him out for precautionary measures, which is the right move to make. Greenwell, fly ball foul down the left field side. Mike Greenwell coming into the game, hitting at .303 with 4 homers and 12 runs batted in. In the last 2 games, though, he's 0 for 10. Randy Kutcher, an outfielder, will no doubt stay in the game and replace Ellis Burks.
In the last 4 years in Boston, Greenwell's averages .323, .314, .328, .325. That'll do.
I believe so.
Can you imagine not even being the best hitter on your team with those averages?
Fastball inside to Greenwell, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Merle, one other thing about Greenwell. People know of his power. They know of his ability to drive the ball. Look at those major league totals of 130 walks and 89 strikeouts.
I like his 23 game-winning RBIs also.
Yeah, that's not bad. This guy will also chip in a stolen base occasionally. He has pretty good running speed.
Greenwell lunging a bit, but taking ball 2, strike 2. Top of the first inning. Danny Heap is the runner at second. Randy Kutcher, running for Ellis Burks, is on at first. And Nolan Ryan trying to get out of this first inning as Greenwell does not offer. It's a full count of 3 balls and 2 strikes.
The Red Sox, Greenwell, one of 3 Red Sox who were in the top 4 last year and toughest to fan. Boggs, Marty Barrett, their second baseman, and Greenwell.
Now, do the Red Sox start the runners? Fletcher will cheat a little bit behind the runner at second to try to cut down Danny Heap's lead.
Nice thing about Greenwell, though, is you can almost be certain of him getting bat on ball in this situation.
Runners holding. Ground ball to second. Franco's going to have to settle for one at first, and does. And the Red Sox move runners to second and third.
Franco had an idea of this being a swipe, tag, and throw for a double play, but the ball was hit so softly that you'll see Kutcher, the pinched runner, get down to second base and pass him. Watch Franco. Tries to swipe. It's not there. And he honestly barely gets Greenwell at first by about 3/4 of a stride.
That ball, it looked like it was hit right about the trademark. So Ryan took away Greenwell's power, and the ball wasn't hit that hard. So here is Jim Rice, 3 0-1s, 3 homers, 16 runs batted in. And a strike over the outside corner. Rice has hit safely in 19 of 20 ball games this year, so he's off to a good start.
He's hit safely in each game of this series, too, but he's only 2 for 8, 1 hit in each game.
0-1, runners at second and third, top of the first inning. Oh, fastball, a boomer over the outside corner. But it snowballs 2 strikes.
I believe that's the one they call the Express.
Did you see Ryan's Express last night on television?
Yes.
Or was it Von Ryan's Express? Frank Sinatra? No balls, 2 strikes. I thought maybe that was in, in sort of respect for Nolan pitching today. Why it was programmed that way. Target set inside, goes outside, and the ball is thrown away, and a run's going to score. So Ryan, even like young guys, sometimes can overthrow. He did there, and Heap comes home, and Kutcher goes to third on the wild pitch.
Ryan with what really does amount to a rookie mistake, isn't it, Merle? Overthrowing ahead 0-2 on the count.
And trying to set that hitter, also showing Rice the target inside, then going to the outside. Drive deep to left field, and Leach to the wall is going to make the catch. When that ball left the bat, it looked like it might go, but it seemed to lose any power that was on it after it got to the outfield, and Leach runs it down. So with this catch up against the wall by Rick Leach, the Red Sox settle for one on a wild pitch as we head for the bottom of the first inning, and the Rangers come to bat, starting with SP, and we'll have the Red Sox as a 1-run lead to work with as he goes into the bottom of the first inning against this Ranger batting order. Cecil Espy in center field, Scotty Fletcher at shortstop, and Rafael Palmeiro with Ruben Sierra in right and Julio Franco at second. Gino Petrali is catching, Rick Leach in left field, Steve Buechele at third, Jeff Stone is the DH, and the pitcher Nolan Ryan. Now the defense for Boston starting in right field, and Danny Heap is going to be out there. Randy Kutcher is now in center field. Mike Greenwell in left. On the infield, it'll be Boggs, Reed, Romero, and Isaski. Rich Gedman is catching. Clemens from Katy, Texas on the mound.
Well, where do you start with Roger Clemens? He's 26 years old. He already has 2 Cy Young Awards. He's 26 years old. He's already got 81 wins and 2 20-win seasons. You want to talk speed? 97, 98 miles an hour. You want to talk control? Major league ratio of about, 4 strikeouts for every walk. Roger Clemens, an incredible young man. Fastball, curveball that he throws to left-hand hitters, slider that he throws to right-hand hitters, and a change off the fastball. And if you're thinking of jumping on him early, this guy has pitched 119 first innings in his career and allowed 32 runs.
You know, that to me, Norm, that's a very important stat because it tells you the guy, as hard as he throws, gets off to a good start. Once he gets that feel and knows that he's got his stuff and he gets by that first inning, he's going to feel like it's going to be a pretty good day for him. Espy looking at a high fastball. Texas has not scored an earned run against Roger Clemens in the last 17 innings they faced him. And, of course, that goes back to 1988. Both those games, by the way, were at Arlington Stadium. High fastball again, 2-0. You talk about matchups and the classic confrontation here in Arlington next Friday night in Boston. It'll be Clemens for the Red Sox and Ryan for the Rangers. But right now, it's Clemens for the Red Sox and Ryan for the Rangers on this April 30th. 2-1 to Espy. I think Cecil thought that pitch was a little bit too high. Espy, a switch hitter, left-handed, hits .333 from the other side of the plate, 148.
Clemens tends to love this stadium. He's made 7 starts here in his career. He's struck out 63 men in 56 innings here. He's 4-0 with an earned run average of right at 2 in this stadium.
You know, it's interesting, Norm. You talk to the advanced scouts, and of course they're the guys that come in ahead of the teams. They leave their scouting report for the manager on how to play certain hitters and what certain hitters like to pitches that they like, as this pitch is fouled away. But they must have a stamped form they put out against if they know Clemens is going to pitch or Ryan's going to pitch. Nobody's going to pull him. Dave Oliver over at third base, and at first is Toby Harrop. And so the Boston outfield is around to the left against Espy, figuring no way he's going to be able to pull Roger Clemens. The outfield is also shallow, as you see. High and away. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Espy struggling a bit of late. Is just 5 for his last 32, and it's resulted in Cecil's average dropping from 345 down to 276.
So he is in need of a base hit. Right now the Rangers are in need of a base runner. By hit, walk, error, you name it. Breaking ball over, really explodes. So you see Clemens now being a more polished pitcher in place of just rearing back on a 3-2 pitch and firing the smoke. Throws the curveball, and the batter is just absolutely paralyzed.
Merle, I don't know what that was. It certainly did break. It didn't break right to left like his curve. That almost acted like a split finger that Clemens threw on that pitch. Did it? Had a lot of drop to it.
It had a lot of drop, but it also seemed to have quite a break on it. Yeah. Scotty Fletcher, 1 out of 8 in the series, strike 1. Hitting at .282 with 9 RBIs and no homers.
This is another guy that's struggling a bit. Scotty is just 8 for his last 45 in 11 games, and the average has gone from the 420s to 282.
Well, it was inevitable that some of the bats would cool a little bit after the torrid start that the Rangers not only opened with, but also have maintained. That's Randy Kutcher, now the center fielder, in place of Ellis Burks. And we certainly hope that Ellis is okay. I know his family that is watching this afternoon has that awful feeling, but really it appeared that the injury would not be serious as a strike comes roaring in there. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And again, I base that hope and trust on the fact that he didn't go down, and it was a glancing blow off the shoulder.
Yeah, it looked like a precautionary move, removing him from the game. You know, this is a little early for Kutcher. He only started 4 games last year.
Missed outside. That is 2 balls, 2 strikes.
But see, Clemens, you're right, very right, Merle. It's unusual to see a guy that throws this hard at 26 being a polished pitcher, but you can see him setting up things here. In and out, moving that ball away from Fletcher. Let's see what he comes back here with. Slider?
And Fletcher jumps on this one, a fly ball to right center. No trouble for either the right fielder Heap or the center fielder Kutcher. And so it is Danny Heap who makes the put out. And with 2 down, Rafael Palmeiro will check in.
With Kutcher new in center field, Heap, I don't think, obviously has played much with Kutcher. Kutcher coming over to back up, but watch Heap. He hears him, and he sort of makes a strange catch on the ball, as though he thought Kutcher were going to run him off the play.
And it really is, it was Kutcher's play, but he just didn't take command. Here's Palmeiro against Clemens, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. The outfield is playing Palmeiro very shallow. And around to the left. Palmeiro will take what they give him. Oh, down he goes. 2 balls and no strikes.
Well,
Red Sox 1, Texas nothing. Huh?
Number 3 hitter for the Red Sox gets hit, and the number 3 hitter for the Rangers goes down in a heap. I don't know if there's any connection, but there certainly is a bit of an odd similarity there.
Could be. I won't dispute that. I don't know if I agree with it or not, but I won't dispute it either.
Well,
so it might be. I don't know. And it's ball 4 to Palmeiro as Clemens missed for the high fastball. I can tell you, in days gone by, there wouldn't have been any doubt. And it wouldn't make any difference even if it was accidental with Ryan, which obviously it was. Ryan has never been a headhunter.
Here's a struggling Ruben Sierra to face Roger Clemens. Sierra 0 for his last 10.
And here's another guy who was so torrid when the season started that even being 0 for 10, he's still hitting at .329 with 4 homers and 19 RBIs. He's one of the leaders in the American League in runs batted in. His teammate Julio Franco is tops, and he will be next. High fastball from Clemens. Julio Franco started out leading the American League in RBIs right out of the chute, and he's still there. And Sierra's third.
By the way, if Sierra bats in a run today, it will be his 20th of April. That was the old record for RBIs in a month, 20. Well, Franco's already wiped that out. He's up to 23. Interesting that Sierra could tie or break the old record and not have the record.
Fly ball to right field, but he got under it. This is not going to be any trouble for Danny Heath. And takes it inside the line. So Sierra goes down. The Rangers are through in the first, and Lever stranded. Palmeiro, who got a walk. At the end of 1, the Red Sox, without a hit in the first inning, scored to lead 1-0 on HSE.
Our lights.
Here is the book on Nolan Ryan. And he gets ready to go now to the top of the second inning. 0-1 at home, 2-0 on the road, 2 near no-hitter on the road. All he wants to do is just have a good one at home as Saski fouls the first pitch back, and it's no balls and a strike.
Here's a guy they got from the Reds. Merle in a big trade that also brought Rob Murphy over.
And Ryan is in there with a strike. Now, they faced each other in the National League. Saski with the Reds, Ryan with the Astros, of course. You know, there was a lot of talk between the Rangers and the Reds involving this fellow's name in the offseason, we are told. But as Saski winds up in Boston, he grand slammed on Friday night here, but he had to wait a while to see what the outcome of the game would be until last night, as it turned out, and the Rangers won it in 12. Fouled away on the first base side. Could be playable. Palmeiro is over, and it's on the dugout.
What do you think Saski was thinking Friday night as the rain started falling in the third inning? He's got a grand slam in the first, but if the rain continues and they don't get in 5, he gets a homer and 4 RBIs wiped out.
Yeah, and he goes up for a contract talk and misses 100 RBIs by, what, 4 or so and 5? Says, yeah, but don't you remember in Texas? No, we don't remember that. Nolan Ryan behind 1-0. Saski, Gedman, and Reed coming up. Breaking ball, no commitment, says the first base umpire, Derwin Merrill. 2-2. Can you believe that Ryan and Clemens have gone through a full inning and not a strikeout registered by either pitcher? There's one.
No, Espy.
Oh, that's right.
Espy to start the first, yeah.
So now each has a strikeout.
Batting 7.
Well, the K cards are up today. They got plenty of them, I'll say that.
Well, they may need plenty of them today.
Well, let's see if this is the start of a trend now. Rich Gedman hitting at 151 with 2 homers and 5 RBIs. Running fastball, 1-0. Well, win or lose today, the Rangers will have compiled the highest winning percentage ever for a single month in team history. Fly ball to right center field. Easy for Espy. And 2 gone.
Merle, this is not a park that Nolan Ryan terribly favors. Nolan Ryan this year has not pitched well in this park. Two big crowds have turned out to see Nolan Ryan pitch, and his performances here have not been very good. As you can see at home, twice he's gone 5 innings, giving him 10 total innings, and that's not impressive at all. Look at the road. 2 hits in 17 innings. 27 strikeouts in 17 innings on the road.
And 2 outs away from a no-hitter in one, and what, 5 outs away from a no-hitter in another one?
Yep. But of small is the fact that Ryan basically has never liked to pitch in Arlington Stadium. In his career, Ryan is now 5 wins and 9 losses with an earned run average of 5. And now realize some of the teams he pitched against in this stadium were not the 27 Yankees back in the early 70s and mid-70s.
3-0 to Jody Reed. Reed hitting a .210 with 3 RBIs.
Merle, if I'm a home plate umpire right here, I'm not sure either pitcher's knocking down hitters. But I think I politely send a message. Palmeiro gets knocked down with 2 outs and nobody on in the bottom of the first. Now Reed gets knocked down with 2 outs and nobody on in the second. I think we've got a Ryan and Clemens answering each other here, and I think the umpire should stop it.
Norm, I love you, but this time I don't know if I agree with you or not. Bouncer to short on 2, and a high throw. Safe at first.
Oh, I'm not sure either, Merle. Believe me, I'm not sure either. My point is, it's real dangerous if either one of these guys is thinking, well, I better knock somebody down. And it might be nice to just say, okay, we're going to draw the line in the sand. That's it. Everybody's had their fun. No more of those.
Yeah, but a warning carries something with it. Let's go back and look at that play again, as Palmeiro had to come up off the bag to make the catch. And so an error is charged to Scotty Fletcher, and with 2 down, we'll go to Eddie Romero. Eddie is one of the better utility players in the American League. This guy can play any place for you. Last year played all over the infield, all 4 positions. And they even had him in the outfield and left field for a while. And it's 1 ball to no strikes. 2 down, a runner at first. Romero 3 out of 9. Ryan a warning. They play Romero a little bit toward right and right center, as you see. It's quite a gap in left center, but that means Romero's got to get around on a Ryan pitch. Fair lead at first by Jody Reed. Fly ball to left field. He did get around on a pitch. Leach going to the wall again. He's got it. Down he goes. You got to get up, Rick. There's a base runner. He caught it, though. Okay. So that takes care of the 2nd inning. I wasn't sure he held on to that ball.
What a catch by Leach. And now understand, the rules in baseball are you've got to hang on to the ball after you hit the wall. If you drop it right here, that ball's in play.
But it never came out of the glove, if you see on the replay, and that's out number 3, and the 2nd inning is over. We'll go to the bottom of the 2nd, 1-0, Boston.
Night, this was it. Rob Murphy to Julio Franco. Bye-bye baseball, bye-bye ball game if you're a Red Sox fan. That's how the Rangers win the first game of this series that was rain delayed a couple of times Friday night and then completed last night starting at 6:30. Franco, would you believe, then starts out the next game with a 2-run homer in the first inning. He's on fire, Merle.
No, that didn't look like it was the easiest pitch in the world to yank either.
No, down, tough pitch to hit.
So Franco checks in. Julio, you said, is hot. You betcha. Leads the American League in RBIs, club record for April. 2 home runs last 2 ball games, 8-game hitting streak. Up high, ball 1.
Still not a hit in this game as we go to the bottom of the 2nd. I don't think that surprises a lot of people, though.
1-1 to Franco. Roger Clemens. Nobody thought that much about him in high school. At the University of Texas, he blazed a trail that got everybody's attention.
Everybody except the people drafting that year.
Nice play at third by Boggs. Franco was out, one away. Yeah, they didn't go that high on him, did they?
One of the all-time draft puzzles in the history of baseball is how major league teams, 18 of them, found someone else they would have rather had in the first round of the '83 draft than Roger Clemens. He went 19th.
One of the things about Clemens is his development. I've talked to scouts about this. Is his development after he reached the major league level. I mean, he has just obviously gotten better and better and better. But he's got better mechanics. Everything about him is better, according to the scouts. Gino is up. Petrali hitting a .292 with 2 RBIs. Ball to strike.
Every time I see Gino face Roger Clemens, I'm reminded of that time way back when Gino was just trying so hard to stay in the big leagues. And there was a Monday night game here in which Roger Clemens pitched. Remember that?
Yep.
National television. And Gino came up in the late innings and hit a 2-run homer off Roger Clemens. It was August 25th, 1986. They asked Clemens after the game about Petrali, and he said he didn't even know who he was.
Base hit to left, but he knows now.
Yes, he does.
First hit of the game for the Rangers.
They asked Clemens, how'd you pitch him? What did you decide? He said, I didn't know who the guy was. I didn't know how to pitch him.
Well, Petrali just went with that pitch. Pitch was to the outside, and he bangs it into left field. Here's Rick Leach, 5 RBIs. You know all about Rick's football abilities. All-America at the University of Michigan, 3 Rose Bowls, quarterback.
Wow.
He's the guy that kind of changed the image of Michigan football.
Now you say, why is Rick Leach in the lineup instead of Pete Incaviglia? Well, yes, he's a left-hand hitter. But Leach, career against Clemens, 3-7. Incaviglia, career against Clemens, 0 for 7 with 7 strikeouts. Pete has never hit the ball into fair territory off Roger Clemens.
I can't argue. What can I say about that? I can't argue about that one. Fouled away by Rick Leach. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Let us assure all of you, though, if you don't know Pete Incaviglia, he did not ask for this day off and would prefer not to be sitting.
Sir. No, sir. He'd be chomping at the bit. In fact, he's probably mad that his name wasn't on the lineup card. It was not on the lineup card today. That's what you got to like about Incaviglia. That tremendous desire to play and improve. And he's worked and worked and worked. And you know what it's done for him defensively.
Yeah, he is a gamer.
Petrali, the base runner, 1-0 Boston, bottom of the 2nd.
Leach is in a good groove. 5 for his last 12. 3 runs batted in.
Drive, right field. It's cut off, however, by Romero, who makes the play, and that'll get Petrali down to 2nd. A humpback line drive toward right field. Just didn't have any zip on it, and Romero was able to get over there and handle it.
Well, that's
run at 2nd.
Nice play by Eddie Romero, and as you said, Merle, this is a really valuable guy to have on this club. He'll play anywhere for you. He'll play any of the infield positions. He'll play some outfield for you. You know, that ball bit and jumped back toward Romero, the English on it, or that ball would have skipped into right field. It took a funny bounce that enabled Romero to get there.
Now Steve Buechele, 2 homers, 12 RBIs, hitting a .253 for the season. A couple of hits in this series. The Red Sox scored in the 1st inning without the benefit of a base hit. Had a walk, a hit batsman, fielder's choice in between, and a ground out and a wild pitch, and that was the inning. Wild pitch got the run in.
Here's Buechele, 1 for 14 lifetime against Clemens.
1 ball and no strikes. High and inside, 2-0.
But then again, Merle, there aren't a whole lot of guys sitting around baseball today saying, oh, I light this guy up.
If they do, they better be careful that it doesn't get back to Clemens.
They better be careful their nose doesn't go to a foot long.
2 balls, no strikes. 2-1.
Clemens, power, very compact, good mechanics, very good, nice compact mechanics, great power.
Led the American League in strikeouts last year, getting a challenge from Mike Langston and Nolan Ryan in the early season of 1989. Langston, by the way, I think he had 8 strikeouts last night for Seattle, and he now leads the American League by 1 as we look at Gino Petralli at second. 1-0 Boston. And it's 2-2.
Not a very good swing. Clemens really had Buechele tied up. Merle Clemens has nearly 200 more innings pitched than hits allowed in his career. This guy's average outing is a 7-hitter for 9 innings.
Fouled away. Well, that means you've really got to make them count when you get them. And you better put some together. Sellout crowd, second sellout crowd in less than 24 hours.
Or we got people standing. Their standing room only seats been sold in the bleachers. This may be the largest crowd in this club's history.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Now Buechele is hit. So Buechele goes on to first. And Stone comes up next.
That one just got away from Clemens.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, those other situations were at least a little suspicious when the ball came inside. This was not a situation Clemens was trying to hit Buechele at all. This is a guy he wanted to get out and get out of the inning.
Now Jeff Stone, the DH, will bat. Now, Norm, I really don't think there's been anything going on at all between either one of the pitchers.
Well, all I'm saying is I hope not, because it's dangerous. Now, Jamie Moyer, okay, nothing against you, Jamie, but these 2 guys, it's dangerous if they start moving it around inside.
Jeff Stone, the DH, and a bouncer to second will be played by Romero. Buechele stops and makes it. He go to first, which he does. So the Rangers will start with the top of the batting order when they come up in the 3rd as Clemens leads them out with a 1-0 lead on HSE.
From around the American League, ooh, that's a damaging injury to George Brett. You know Kansas City's bad record with him hurt. Minnesota's Frank Viola is 0-4 personally. They're 0-6 in his 6 starts. And what a good game Jimmy Abbott threw last night. Fan 9, no decision as the Angels beat Toronto 4-3.
And Ryan starts out on Boggs with a strike to open the top of the 3rd inning.
Merle, I'm going to give you a trivia question. We're going to give our fans a little bit of time to think about this, all right? No fair looking at your morning paper today.
Okay.
Who has the 4th best record in baseball?
4th best record in baseball?
4th best. Nope, I'm not going to cover my standings here. 4th best record
Oh, you
in
mean
baseball
team-wise?
this year.
Team-wise.
Bye-bye.
Strike 3. Boggs knew it. 3 pitches. He's out of there. Strikeout number 2. The K's go up in left field. Look at that thing explode.
If you're wondering how hard that is to do, Boggs struck out 34 times last year in 584 at-bats.
And what did Greenwell have?
Greenwell struck out hardly any either. He never strikes out either.
Breaking ball for a strike to Danny Heath.
Greenwell struck out 38 times last year.
And Marty Barrett.
And Barrett, the second baseman, Pete and Cavilla struck out more than the 3 of them combined. 35.
strike off speed stuff, nothing in 2. All 3 of those guys in the same lineup.
Yep, 34 strikeouts Boggs, 35 Barrett, 38 Greenwell. Between the 3 of them, they strike out 107 times. You know, over 1,500 at bats.
No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The outfield around to the left for Danny Heap, and he fouls one down the left field side. How many times did DiMaggio strike out in his career?
369 times in his major league career. Can you imagine a career in which you have more homers than strikeouts?
And that's it.
Ridiculous.
And that's right. You know, DiMaggio was not only a power hitter, he was an average. I'm talking about batting percentage hitter. Missed outside Nolan Ryan, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. But yet he only struck out 369, did you say?
369 times in his entire career. Earl, got the answer to that question yet? Best record, 4th best record in a major league.
You're playing with fire because I have one for you if I can't answer that thing. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Good breaking stuff. Vicious breaking pitch. 3 strikeouts for Ryan.
For those physiologists who've sometimes written articles that the ball really doesn't break, it's an optical illusion. You don't want to see that replay. Look at that pitch.
Look where the glove, where Petrali had to go down to get that pitch. Danny Heap says, I couldn't hit that with a tennis racket.
See, now that's the one that Lawless, the infielder from Toronto, was screaming about, that Ryan scuffs the ball.
Ryan doesn't need to scuff the ball.
No.
Oh, high fastball. 1 ball to no strikes.
Merle, the
I'm working on
4th best record in all of baseball as we start play today.
Yes.
Is the California Angels in 4th place in the American League West.
The 4th? Oh, I see what you mean.
The 4th best record in all of baseball is the California Angels, who are 4th in their division with that record of 14-10. That would lead any of the other 3 divisions in baseball, and they are 4th, 3.5 games out in the West.
Randy Kutcher, who replaced Alex Burks, is now 3 balls, no strikes. Kutcher batting for the first time. Burks hit in the 1st inning a glancing blow off the shoulder that hit him in the batting helmet, and he was removed for precautionary reasons. Right down there for a strike. 3 balls and a strike. It's 1-0 Boston. We're playing in the top of the 3rd. Kutcher fouls it away, full count.
Watch Ryan. You saw the slow motion of Clemens' delivery earlier. Very compact. Ryan with a little more movement. Not a lot of movement. Not a lot of wasted movement there.
Foul tip, and Kutcher's alive. And you notice also that in Ryan's leg kick, the knee comes almost up to his chin, which even makes the ball harder to pick up as he comes to the plate.
Kutcher's 29 years old. The Red Sox got him in a deal last September with San Francisco that sent Dave Henderson over to the Giants.
And an outside miss, and Kutcher is on at first with a walk. So Ryan has now walked 2, struck out 3, and hit 1 batter.
Kind of a messy score sheet for no hits for Boston, isn't it?
And how?
Walk, hit by pitch, another walk, a wild pitch, an error, 3 strikeouts.
Mike Greenwell at the plate. Mike Greenwell has an RBI bat. Strike 1, fastball in ball player lingo. He's a better hitter with men on base. And the Red Sox over the years have always been able to come up with a guy like that. I'm not talking about the Ted Williamses or even the Carl Yastrzemskis, but guys that just day in and day out, they pick those guys up as a ground ball, should be played easily by Franco, and is. And Greenwell, who is now about 12, I believe, so he's in a bit of a slump. But anyway, Greenwell follows the likes of the Jackie Jensens and people like that, who always find a way to get those runners home. But this time, Greenwell doesn't. It is 1-0 Boston, heading for the bottom of the 3rd. HSE brings you Ranger baseball. Ryan against Clemens from Arlington.
Budweiser American League scoreboard. Yankees doing pretty well these days, aren't they? White Sox really struggling. Minnesota trying to break a losing streak that's now reached 7 in a row. And Kansas City behind Floyd Bannister is beating Milwaukee and Mike Birkbeck 2-0 in the 6th. 3 other games have yet to start. Detroit at Oakland, where the A's are playing very, very well. California entertains Toronto, and Baltimore is at Seattle. Baltimore pitching that good young lefty Jeff Ballard today, who goes for number 5.
The Rangers start with the top of the bat order in the bottom of the 3rd against Roger Clemens, who has a 1-run lead. The Red Sox have 1 run and no hits. The Rangers have no runs and 1 hit.
Merle, there is something very, very odd about the Ranger bullpen. I guess Kevin Brown is just getting work down there. Seems odd for this early in the day to get some work, but now he stopped throwing. I was hoping that wasn't a signal there was something wrong with Ryan. But Brown just threw for a while and then sat down. Apparently it has no reflection on Ryan or his health.
Espy fouls it off, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. By the way, Jesse Barfield has a new home, the New York Yankees.
Is the deal done?
They did it.
What's the deal?
Leiter.
Al Leiter, the left-hand pitcher. Another left-hand pitcher to Toronto?
Yeah.
Wow, for Jesse Barfield.
1-2 pitch. Foul tip. Espy is alive.
The Yankees obviously worried about the physical condition of Dave Winfield. He'll be able to come back and put his big bat in the lineup for them. And even when he does, I would imagine DH is a spot he'll spend a good bit of time.
Yeah, I would think so. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out. 1-0 Boston. Bottom of the 3rd. Line drive into the glove of Boggs at 3rd base for out number 1.
You know, there's another facet of Wade Boggs' game role. It gets hardly any notice. This guy was not... Oh, I don't think he was ever a bad 3rd baseman, but when he came up, Boggs made 27 errors in '83, 20 errors in '84, then 17 and 19. Then look at the last couple of years. 14 and 11. Boggs has turned himself into a pretty darn good 3rd baseman, too.
Here's Scotty Fletcher, who flied to right field his initial time up. And it's 1 ball, no strikes. Boggs might have taken a page out of the book written by Greg Nettles,
who really became an outstanding 3rd baseman in the middle and latter part of his career.
Too close. 2-0. Nettles, when he first came up with the Minnesota Twins organization, they said he's got a good bat, but he probably will have a difficult time finding a place to play. Okay, we've put Roger Radar to work. 94 miles an hour in that last pitch.
Sort of coasted that one up there.
That was a changeup. Fouled away. 2 balls and a strike. The outfield is playing Fletcher very shallow. In addition to Clemens being an overpowering pitcher, it could be that the Red Sox are thinking, well, unless they're guessing and guessing right all the time, as this pitch is hit on the ground to short. Jody Reed on the 1st and 2 down. Nobody's going to see the ball that well today, and so they're not going to be able to go up there and really crank up and let go with those bats. They stay close for Palmeiro.
Yeah, well, this is a beautiful day from a fan standpoint. It's not an optimum day from a player standpoint to see the ball, especially with so many light-colored shirts in the outfield. This is not a terribly good background.
1 ball and no strikes. There's been only 1 hit in the game. That belongs to the Rangers. 1 run in the game. That belongs to the Red Sox. Off speed. 1 ball, 1 strike to Palmeiro. Rafael, born in Cuba, grew up in Miami. Attended Mississippi State. Baseball All-American there.
Ooh, Clemens taking some off here. Spotting that pitch. Real honest, I've seen 2 or 3 pitches now that look like split finger pitches, fork balls, that react later. I wonder if Roger's starting to fool around with the fork ball.
Fastball ripped to second on the ground. Romero makes the play, and it's 3 up and 3 down. So this pitcher's duel, and this is what the fans were expecting, continues. 1-0 Boston. Going to the fourth. The Red Sox will have Jim Rice leading off when we come back on HSE.
Today, Kirk Gibson goes on the 15-day disabled list with a hamstring problem in L.A. Boy, Mike Schmidt is going to finish this game with some incredible numbers. And Tim Raines, my goodness. And Montreal just keeps whacking around left-handers, Merle. They are really tough on left-handed pitchers.
Here's Jim Rice leading off. Flied to left in the first inning. Nolan Ryan has given up 1 run and no hits. He wild pitched the run in. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's the line for the first 3 innings. Breaking ball, he committed. Strike 2 as Palmeiro rings him up.
Rice got a good piece of one earlier that looked like it was going out, but seemed to hang up a little bit, and Leach caught it right at the wall. But boy, Jim hasn't had good swings this at bat so far.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Ryan has struck out 3.
4. Oop. I thought that was 4. Rice with a little ping pong move, a quick flick it out of there.
Saved by the bell.
That ball was by Jimmy. He flicked that one right out of Gino's glove.
Nolan Ryan against Roger Clemens. Fouled away again. Clemens struck out Espy to start the bottom of the first inning. He has not had a strikeout since, and we mentioned the fact that Clemens led the league a year ago in strikeouts with 291, the most in the American League since Ryan struck out 341 with the California Angels in 1977. Too close. 2-2.
Tell you what, Clemens had a couple of weird games though back in 1987. Merle, do you realize Clemens pitched 2 complete games without strikeouts in 87?
No.
Does that seem hard to believe to you? Me too.
And now Jim Rice is plucked. So Rice goes on to first. You know, Norm, we'll not know this till after the game is over, but I'm beginning to have a hunch these guys really aren't seeing those inside pitches, and both pitchers are pitching inside, and who could blame them for that? That's part of their routine, if you will, but I don't know.
That's the background, but to really get an appreciation, we'd have to have a camera right down where the catcher's glove is to get an appreciation for what the hitter sees. We can only approximate for you the background, which is very bright and greenish where the canvas covers it, but still, Merle, I think you're right. Burke seemed to react very late in the first inning to that, and we've now had 3 hit batsmen and 3 other deck jobs.
Nick Asaski is up there. And a miss outside by Nolan Ryan, so it's 2 balls and no strikes. Also, sometimes there's a glare off of the brilliantly manicured and very bright green grass. Now, AstroTurf, I know the players say on a very sunny afternoon they'll get glare off of AstroTurf. Now, whether they get it off this kind of grass or not, I don't know. It's, boy, this field is so fantastic, it's unbelievable. I mean, the playing surface. Okay, National League on the Budweiser scoreboard. Pittsburgh in a runaway. Montreal scoring big, and the Reds and Phils are tied.
Cardinals behind Joe McGrain reactivated today. Cubbies sticking it to San Diego. And you'd have thought David Cone versus Mike Scott would have been low scoring in Houston. It isn't.
And that one just got away. A swing and a miss by Asaski. Rice going to second.
By the way, Merle, that's Montreal beating up on another left-hand pitcher, Derek Lilliquist. 60% or more is a really big percentage in baseball to do anything at 60% or more. Montreal's beating left-handers at 60% for the last 2 years. They're a tough club against left-hand pitching.
Nolan Ryan about to throw his 61st pitch, and he throws it by Nick Kasaski.
Tell you what, though,
that was a pass ball, by the way, on that ball that got away from Gino.
You could see how Wallach and Brooks and Raines could really wreak some havoc on left-hand pitchers.
Ryan radar just a mile per hour less than what we clocked Roger Clemens in the last inning. 2-2 pitch coming. Goodbye to Nick Kasaski for the second time.
You know, I bet you when Kasaski was traded over to the American League, he said, well, thank God, at least I don't have to face Ryan anymore.
A lot of guys probably thought that, but interleague trading came into play many, many years ago.
And then Ryan signs as a free agent, and Kasaski says, oh, goody, goody, another 3 or 4 games against Nolan. How much fun is that?
Here's Gedman. The catcher up there with 1 out and a runner at second. No balls and a strike. Gedman hitting only 151. He's had a tough time coming back from a career that got off to a great start and then was plagued by injuries. And the snowballs, 2 strikes to Gedman. Nolan Ryan behind 1-0 has not given up a hit. Gedman a year ago hit .230 in 95 ball games. Second straight year that he was sidelined by injury. In fact, it was here in Texas that he broke a bone in his right foot, I think it was. Fouls it back below us.
You know, I can't help but think every time I see Rich Gedman that this is such a weird-looking swing he has. It seems to have a natural loop in it, which you'd think would make it difficult for Gedman to hit the ball. But he does put a bat on ball an awful lot. He's wide open. It seems like a really odd hitting style he has.
Oh, he reached for a bad one there. Ryan strikes out his 5th.
It's his swing, Merle. It's a bad swing. The K's being waved again. And Gedman would have needed a boat oar to hit that one.
At least.
Yes.
So Ryan with 5 Ks in the book, but he is still behind 1-0. He'll trade all those for a couple of runs. Ryan back leading the American League in strikeouts. We mentioned Mark Langston of Seattle took the lead by 1 with his performance last night. And a strike call to Jody Reed by an error in the second.
You know, I know Walter Weiss was the Rookie of the Year last year, but it's a shame that this young man didn't come up a little bit sooner as a regular with the Red Sox, because he had a dynamite year for them last year once he took over at shortstop.
Good breaking ball, dropping a bit too low. Did you see that little hitch that Reed took as he was fooled with the pitch?
If you'll remember when Joe Morgan took over from Dick Williams, the really one major lineup change he made was Reed took over, or from John McNamara, I want to say Dick Williams, was Reed at shortstop for Spike Owen. He liked Reed, and Reed really rewarded him, hitting .293 last year.
Little off speed.
Merle, you want another note on Reed? He joins Boggs, Barrett, and Greenwell. He just didn't qualify enough to get in the toughest to strike out. Look at those stats. 368 at bats, 21 strikeouts.
Those guys don't like to strike out at Fenway. That's such a great park to hit on. Hit in, rather.
Once every 17 trips to the plate, they strike this guy out.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Offered, strike 3. Fastball clipped the corner, and Reed said no, and that's 6 strikeouts. Ryan gets the side in the 4th inning, going to the bottom of the 4th, 1-0 Boston.
25 career at the University of Texas, one of a number of great pitchers produced by that program. Yesterday, during our Texas-Arkansas baseball coverage, we asked Cliff Gustafson, who managed Roger as a UT pitcher, about the memories he has of Roger Clemens.
Well, I think that his dedication to the game, Roger was always about his business of becoming a major league pitcher from the very time we first met him. That's what he had in mind, and he knew what he wanted, and he's going to work hard to accomplish that. And he continues to work hard, even though he has gained that pedestal of being a great pitcher. I think he's going to have a long, illustrious career because of his approach.
Cliff is also a good friend of Nolan Ryan's, and he wanted to be here to watch this confrontation today, but schedule wouldn't permit. But we understand the coach is watching in Austin this afternoon. So welcome aboard, Coach, and congratulations on your long and illustrious career of producing great college players and great major league players.
We get to see another one of his come in with Cleveland, Greg Swindell.
Sierra hits one fairly deep to left center, but Kutcher got the jump on it and runs it down.
By the way, Cliff Gustafson is one of 314,912 people who really wish they were here today with a ticket.
And one of them was my grandson, Skip. And he is watching. And Skip, I hope this is, it's somewhat anyway, equals being here today. Well, they're about, I know Bert Hawkins, we're talking to Bert Hawkins, who probably knows as much about the franchise as anyone, having come here with it from Washington as Franco steps in. And a strike. I asked Bert, I said, Bert, this game was sold out, and there are people standing in front of the ticket office down below holding up, you know, 3 fingers. You have 3 tickets available, 2 tickets available, any tickets available. And I said, if this stadium had held 80,000 people, what would have been happening down at the ticket office right now before the game? He said they'd still be holding up 3 fingers, 2 fingers, anybody for tickets. I said, you're kidding. He said if it held 100,000, that many people would have come in to watch today.
Well, you're talking about legends here, basically. And how many times with Nolan Ryan at 42 is he ever going to match up with Clemens again? Oh, if everything goes well and there's no rain in between and things like that, they'll match up again in Boston. But even if Nolan has a couple more years, fates and rotations dictate you may not see this matchup again ever. Other than this weekend and next weekend.
Could be. 2 balls, 2 strikes. No, Norm, I was thinking the same thing, but I have a hunch that it may happen again when the Red Sox come back. Ground ball, fielded, nice play by Jody Reed. The ball bat hopped on him. So Franco is out. He is 0 for 2. The only hit of this game belongs to Gino Petralli, who singled to left field when he batted in the 2nd inning.
Jody Reed, who made just 11 errors last year at shortstop for the Red Sox. Big bad hop up in his eyes on a ball he thought would stay down. He recovers composure and gets Franco fairly easily.
Now Gino, who singled against Roger Clemens in the 2nd for the only hit. Foul ball. One to nothing Boston. The run scoring on a wild pitch back in the 1st inning. Up high, no hits in that inning, by the way. In fact, Boston has not had a hit off Ryan.
Gino's the only guy in this game whose average is going up.
That's down low for a ball. You were going to say?
I was just saying, this is the solitary hit holder today. Boy, he's in a good groove, too, lately, Gino is.
And again, he just reaches out and pokes that ball, taking what Clemens was giving. And it's fouled away. It is 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Cleveland Indians will be in here tomorrow night. And Rich Yett is going to pitch for the Indians. And Bobby Witt, who is 3-0, will go for the Rangers. Fly ball to left field. Coming on is Greenwell. Got to hurry. Base hit. Gino is 2 for 2. A solid single on a line drive and a fly ball single.
Tell you what, if you'll just keep putting the ball in play, there's an awful lot of lawn out there for something to fall on. This is the base hit, almost the same kind he got against the Indians to beat them the other day in extra innings, Merle.
So Gino is a base runner again, and the batter will be Rick Leach, the left fielder. Rick grounded out in the second inning. Leach hitting at .333 coming into this one. Strike with a fastball. 0-1. Tuesday night, another former Cliff Gustafson pitcher will work in this ballpark, and that would be Swindell for the Indians, who's 2-0 against Moyer, 3-0 for the Rangers. Then the Yankees come on. Missed outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Happy birthday a day late to Ranger pitching coach Tom House, who turned 42 yesterday, and Eddie Correa, who turned 23 this weekend.
Again, Swindell missing up the outside edge of the plate, and he keeps working that, or rather Clemens, talking of Swindell, who will be working on Tuesday night. Boy, isn't that something to have those 2 guys coming off the Texas pitching staff, University of Texas?
Well, and then so many others.
Oh, yeah.
They're hanging around.
Off speed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Calvin Schiraldi is another one, of course.
Bruce Ruffin, Mark Pitkazik, who's in the Rangers system,
Yep.
Dennis Cook, who just barely missed earning a spot in the rotation of the Giants this year.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, 1 on. A little bit high, breaking stuff.
That's a break for Texas. Gino Petralli doesn't have good speed, but now 3-2, 2 outs. Gino can get a running start, and should Leach get something of a long single variety or a ball in the gap at all, that would certainly score Petralli a ball in the gap now.
And the center fielder, Kutcher, is close, and so is Greenwald, the left fielder, although Greenwald's about normal depth, but Kutcher is pretty close in center. Looking at the defensive alignment, this, even with the rain we've had the last couple of days, should be a pretty fast outfield. It's manicured so beautifully by Jim Anglia and his crew. Runner going from first, ball 4, 2 to the board.
Another chance for Steve Buechele.
Third baseman Steve.
So Clemens has given up his second free ride. Petralli at second, and Leach at first for Buechele, who was hit by a pitch in the second inning.
Buechele took an 0 in the first game of the series, the one that was suspended and completed last night, 0 for 5, but then bounced back with a pair of hits in the second game of the series. Buechele, a .320 hitter over the last 6 games.
So he steps up there with a chance to not only lock up the ball game, but give the Rangers a lead. Tying run at second, lead run at first. Strike to the inside corner. The Tigers in Oakland are underway. The Oakland A's are hot. They have won 9 of the last 10 ball games and 3 in a row, and they're percentage points behind the Rangers, who occupy first place in the Western Division. 0-2.
Well, I think there's a mistake on a scoreboard. It shows Minnesota at home leading Cleveland 2-1 in batting in the bottom of the 9th. I think that one's over, Merle. See down on the right hand there? The little dot indicates it's bottom of the 9th. I think probably it's top of the 9th if they haven't put final up there yet.
And you see the Yankees have won. Bouncer to short, Jody Reed. Shovel play at second, and Leach saw an opportunity there as he saw that play developing a little slowly. And Leach turned it on trying to beat the play to the bag, but didn't make it. And it is no runs and a hit, and 2 men left. At the end of 4, it's still Boston 1, Texas nothing. Home Sports Sports Entertainment and is intended solely for the non-commercial use of our viewing audience. Any rebroadcast or the use of this telecast without the express written consent of Home Sports Entertainment is prohibited. Announcers for this telecast are selected and employed by Home Sports Entertainment.
It was close, but here's the play at second. The second baseman, Romero, gets there about tenth of a second ahead of the sliding Rick Leach.
Speaking of Romero, here's Eddie leading off in the fifth, and Boston still does not have a base hit, as you see, but leads in the run column 1-0. Romero flied to left in the second inning. Breaking ball hanging, and it's 1-1 strike. Rick Leach made a nice play against the left field wall, foul down, and with a runner at first, we were hoping that that ball would be in the glove when he hit the deck, and it was, and stayed there for the out to end the inning. Breaking ball away. 2 balls and strike.
Eddie Romero spent 5 years in Milwaukee before coming to the Red Sox in a deal for Mark Clear during the offseason after the '85 season.
Fouled away. Ryan has 6 Ks in the book today, and he fanned the side in the fourth after starting the inning by nicking Jim Rice. Headed for right field and cut off by Julio Franco. 1 out. The Rangers, with their 16-5 record, have won 6 of the last 10 and have a percentage point lead over the A's in the Western Division. Texas 16-5 going into the game today. Oakland 18-7. Here's Wade Boggs. A walk and a strikeout for Boggs.
So now Merle, in the last 13 1/3 innings, Nolan Ryan's permitted 1 hit.
That's right.
Ouch. There's some batting averages tumbling.
Upper to second, charged by Franco, and the underhand toss. 2 down.
Remember that trivia question we had for you earlier, Merle, about
Yes.
the best records in baseball?
Yes.
This is a composite total major league. The best records, best starts. Look at this. American League West, American League West, American League West, American League West, National League West, then a pair of National League East teams. But 4 Western teams are 1, 2, 3, 4 best record in baseball.
Well, the guys from Boston that we were visiting with on Friday as we check in on Bobby Valentine down in the first base dugout, the traveling media corps with the Red Sox are convinced that the balance of power in the American League has swung to the West. You know, it used to be, they said, well, the Eastern Division is so far ahead of the Western Division, and they go back as this base hit is going to be #1 of the game for Boston, and he gets it. So Ryan has now given up a base hit. But they were saying that now it is the West, whereas a few years ago when the Minnesota Twins won the pennant, remember, they said, my goodness, they would have finished in the American League East. They not only won the pennant, they won the World Series. Now it looks like it's the Western Division that's going to have the pull-away power as far as the first 3 teams are concerned. And in the Eastern Division, you've got a bunch of teams playing 500 ball. Randy Kutcher is the batter. Down low. 2-0. Baltimore and Boston virtually in a dead heat in first place in the Eastern Division, along with the Yankees.
Under 500.
Under 500. Or we're going to the games today.
Imagine Detroit 7-14 in last place and only 3 games out of first.
2 balls, no strikes, 2 down, 1 on. Each team with a hit. The Red Sox have a run. Missing outside to Kutcher.
Well, Merle, when you consider the talent that's left the American League East in the last couple of years, Kirk Gibson, Lance Parrish, Bruce Hurst here in Boston, Eddie Murray in Baltimore, Jim Clancy from Toronto, Jack Clark from the Yankees, Winfield's hurt, Franco got traded over to the National League, Brock's hurt, Swain's hurt in Milwaukee. That's a lot of terrific players.
And we've got Randy Kutcher going on to first base.
Outfielder Mike Greenwell.
This is trouble, because this guy can hit right here. And as you said before, he tends to thrive on situations like this one. Greenwell just loves runners on base.
So Greenwell has twice grounded out as Bobby Valentine ponders the situation. The Red Sox had 2 on the board in the first inning.
Earl, this guy hit .332 with runners in scoring position last year. That'll work. That'll work.
I believe so. Foul ball. Greenwell went after a pitch about letter high.
Greenwell came up last year with 229 people in scoring position and knocked in a third of them. That's terrific. That's really wonderful production.
Ryan missing away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jim Rice will be up next if Greenwell gets aboard. Jim Rice enjoying life a little more this year, off to a better start. He's had nagging injuries over the last several seasons, although he started to come back last year. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 on and 2 down, 1-0 Boston. 2-1. Bobby Valentine is asking Steve Palermo to come out. He wants to see if Ryan is okay.
Ryan seems to, just body language wise, be giving off signals of discomfort this inning.
Now Valentine will go ahead and make it an official visit.
By the way, that was a fairly amicable looking conversation between Steve Palermo and Bobby Valentine, and it was not always that way.
No.
Valentine and Palermo were probably at odds more than any manager umpire in the American League a couple years ago. That seems to have thankfully settled down.
So Ryan has a 2-1 count to Mike Greenwell, with Boston leading 1-0. The Red Sox are batting in the 5th inning. Danny Heap and Randy Kutcher are the base runners for the Red Sox. Fouled away. Well, let's see how many pitches Nolan has thrown so far this afternoon. 87. And in 4 2/3 innings, 1 run, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks.
That, by the way, may seem a little high to you, and it is in the normal, everyday baseball goings. 87 pitches in the 5th inning is a lot, but Ryan's always like that. He throws little pitches. Strikeout pitchers generally throw a lot of pitches.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Look at the way Greenwell is up on that right foot. And he pops his breaking ball to left field, but Rick Leach had him played just right. So the Red Sox go in the 5th. No runs and a hit. They stranded 2. Now to the bottom of the 5th inning as we've reached the halfway point of the ball game on HSE. Red Sox 1, Rangers nothing.
I didn't. I paid for one, as a matter of fact.
Oh, okay.
That's how I make Sports Illustrated. I buy one. Texas Heat is the cover story. It's Nolan Ryan on the cover. A writer for Sports Illustrated followed the Rangers for a full week. That brings up this question. We want you to name the last Ranger player. This is a beauty. Who is the last Ranger to be the cover? I don't mean sitting in the background or somewhere in a mass picture. The Ranger player to be featured on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Call those numbers, 277-0779, 277-0004, and area code 817. first correct caller gets a gift certificate from Merle Harmon's Fanfare, the sports fans gift shop. And if the person who was the guy on the cover calls, you can't win. Rules of the contest.
Oh. Okay.
Because there's a chance he's watching.
Well, if he is, I'll take him to lunch. I owe him one anyway.
By the way, we got an NBA playoff score for you. Cleveland has bounced back to beat Chicago 96-88, and that evens that best-of-7 series a game apiece.
Jeff Stone, the DH, batting ninth in the order, wraps one to the right side. Eddie Romero digs it. 1 out. So both starting pitchers roll on. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Boston leading 1-0 with a run scoring without the benefit of a base hit in the first. Cecil Espy has struck out and lined to third today. Roger Clemens is now going into his 22nd consecutive inning, going back to last year in his 2 appearances against the Rangers. 22nd inning without giving up a run to the Rangers. Strike to the outside corner.
If pitching well on the road means something, Clemens enters today's game with a career road record of 42-13.
And that's better than he has pitched at home, isn't it?
Much better than he's pitched at home, yes.
Strike inside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Cecil Espy, who came into the game hitting at .276.
He's a very shabby 40-21 at home, by the way, Merle. Obviously much easier to hit. Fenway Park.
Oh, yeah. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Espy. Breaking ball hit up the middle, but there's Romero again with a nice hop. And there are 2 down.
Well, as the Rangers continue to try to solve Roger Clemens, there is one bit of good news on the scoreboard. Ba-boom! Detroit has lit up Storm Davis in the 2nd inning in Oakland. 5 big ones.
Well, let's see. How long will it take Oakland to get that back, though?
I don't know. Against Frank Tanan, it may take a while. Frankie's appearing to get back in the groove.
Yes, yes.
Frank's a tough cookie. You give Frank 5 early, and Frank will find a way to nibble away at you.
Kansas City trying to beat Milwaukee again, having won last night. No balls, a strike to Scott Fletcher, who is 0 for 2 with a fly ball to right and a ground out. Target outside. Breaking ball. 0-2.
Geez, Merle, this guy has changed as a pitcher. He's throwing a lot of different speeds. He's throwing a lot of breaking balls. He's moving the ball up and down. Roger Clemens, even of a couple years ago, still leaned heavily on the fastball, and he's moving it around today.
Well, no longer a thrower, now a pitcher.
Well, he's a 26-year-old man who wants to be pitching at 36, obviously.
Where do you suppose he learned that?
I don't know. I think Uncle Cliff might have had something to do with it in Texas, and I'll bet you a few of the folks here, and I'll bet you his mound opponent today may have shown him a few things too.
I believe so. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 down. Got him. That's the 2nd strikeout for Clemens. And he takes the Rangers in order in the 5th. And after 5 complete, it's Boston 1, still the Rangers nothing. HSE bringing you Ranger baseball from Arlington.
Got the answer to this question. Who was the last Ranger to be featured on the cover of Sports Illustrated? Let's not tell you. Let's show you. Elliot Bump Wills, Maury's son, featured as the primary new face of 1977. The winner is Jeff Williams of Fort Worth, who receives a gift certificate good at any Merle Harmon's Fanfare coast to coast. Merle Harmon's Fanfare, the sports fans gift shop. Here the runs and the hits are hard to come by. Top 6, and here's the man who runs the Fanfare stores, Merle Harmon.
Thank you, Norm. And Jim Rice up there with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Jim flied to left in the 1st inning, was hit by a pitch in the 4th.
Rice is a guy that the Red Sox tried at times to move in the last couple of seasons and could get no takers because of his big contract. And Rice has bounced back and has rewarded him with a fine start this year.
That exploding Ryan breaking ball that caught Rice looking, because in his last time at the plate he was nicked by an inside pitch on a fastball, and this time he goes after the fastball to the outside, doesn't connect, and that's 7 Ks in the book now for Nolan Ryan.
First baseman Nick Asaski.
There they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Waiting. Where is it?
I think they've lost count out there. There it is. That one's got it right. Those guys have snoozed off at the other K corner out there.
Nick Asaski has 2 Ks in the book against his name today. Strike. 0-1. The Yankees beat the White Sox, who have now lost 9 of their last 11 games. No balls, 2 strikes. The Yankees, on the other hand, have won 7 of their last 11. 0-2 the count to Asaski. 1 gone, top of the 6th, 1-0 Boston. This is a quiet crowd today for 42 to 3,000. Just missed inside.
Nick, this may be one more pitch than you're entitled to.
Sellout crowd. Sounds like they'd really be getting on people.
Nolan Ryan after that pitch. Oh, you got to be kidding me here.
Oh boy. Well, high hard one. When in doubt, go to the high hard one. That's number 8.
After
94 miles an hour on the Ryan radar. Rich Gedman has a fly ball to center in a strikeout. 1-0 Boston. The Red Sox have 1 hit, which they did not get in the run scoring inning, as that breaking ball dropped slow, and the third base umpire Larry McCoy said no. He checked his swinging time. 1 ball, no strike. The Rangers have 2 hits, both by Gino Petralli, but the Rangers have only had 1 man reach second base, and that was Petralli the last time up. 2-0 the count. Ryan has thrown 99 pitches, so number 100 is coming to Gedman. Oh, strike. You notice the way, and Gedman's just another case, the way the Red Sox batters, especially the left-handed batters, shift that weight back on the back foot. They still remember that from Walt Reniak's days, of when Reniak was a batting coach. And this foul ball is coming back out of play. We noted that Greenwell did that. Wade Boggs does it, of course. And I guess the guy that really got everybody started on that project was the late Charlie Lau. George Brett, all those Kansas City hitters. And then Reniak and Lau, I understand, were good friends and did a lot of sharing. Good breaking ball, but not quite getting the corner, backdoor style. So it's 3 balls, 2 strikes. But now Reniak is with the White Sox. He got a big fat contract to go there and leave the Red Sox. So we'll see what he can do in Chicago.
There are those who contend that theory takes a lot of power away.
Swung a pitch out of the strike zone for the 2nd time in the game. Ryan has fanned the side. Now the crowd starts to come to life. 3 up and 3 down. At the end of 5½, it is Boston 1, Texas nothing.
In Oklahoma City. Thanks for joining us for the Rangers-Boston Red Sox game on Home Sports Entertainment. You'll be sure to be with us this weekend for exciting Big 8 Conference baseball live at 7 o'clock Friday and 1 o'clock Sunday. It's the Oklahoma Sooners and arch rival Oklahoma State in college baseball. Consider left field for the Boston Red Sox, if you would, Mr. Harmon, and how well it's been tended for the last 50 years. In 1939, Ted Williams broke in to be succeeded by fellow Hall of Famer Carl Yastrzemski. who was succeeded by Hall of Famer to be Jim Rice, who's succeeded by, if he keeps going, Hall of Famer Mike Greenwell. 50 years of 300 hitting, 20, 30, 40 home run hitting left fielders in Boston.
Isn't that something, the way ball clubs get into a streak like that with big players, big stars at one position? 2 balls, no strikes now to Rafael Palmeiro, who walked in the first and grounded out in the third. He'll be followed by Ruben Sierra and Julio Franco. Let's see if the Rangers can do something now. Strike fastball, 2-1. Roger Clemens has given up 2 hits but no runs. He has walked 2 and struck out 2. Breaking ball, 2-2 the count. The Astros are leading the Mets 7-5 in the 7th inning. And Rafael has gone the route. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Hitting .313 coming into the game. Fastball got the corner. 3rd strikeout now for Clemens.
Clemens is 26 years old and is already putting some incredible numbers on the board. How do they compare with Nolan Ryan? Well, at 26 years old, Ryan, who had a lot of trouble getting control early, was an under 500 pitcher. But he'd thrown 15 shutouts. Better than 1 every 5 of his wins was a shutout.
Sierra grounds to first. Saski takes the play unassisted. 2 down.
Let's go back to that graphic as we can with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th, and Clemens leading Ryan 1-0. To show you the incredible start of Clemens' career. Now, obviously, Ryan has longevity, but Clemens has got this incredible start. At 26, look at the comparison. This guy's record is remarkable. Well, this guy could be a 200-game winner at 31, 32 years old.
He won't be 27 for another 3 months. There's one other stat there, Norm, that I'm kind of interested in that we don't have, and that's innings pitched at that stage of their careers. Two down. Clemens will now face Julio Franco. One to nothing Boston. High fastball.
By the way, one other note about the Williams, Yastrzemski, Rice, and Greenwell situation. There was nothing in between them. Williams left after 60, and Yastrzemski arrived in 61. Yastrzemski then overlapped with Rice, and Rice has overlapped with Greenwell. So it literally is 50 years with those 4 people at that position.
You know, that really is interesting, and I mentioned that there have been situations like that with some other clubs, and I don't even remember who was the center fielder before DiMaggio, as we check in on Greenwell once again. But there was the long reign of DiMaggio and Mickey Mantle in New York. Fly ball to right, chased by Danny Heat, down into the corner, foul territory, makes the catch. Good play by Danny Heat. It's a 1-2-3 inning. So the 1-0 shutout holds for Roger Clemens, who heads to the dugout in a little breather. And Jody Reed, Eddie Romero, and Wade Boggs will come to bat for Boston on HSE in the 7th. When you can't be here, be with us on HSE.
Let me tell you something. If you don't have a ticket, you can't be here because they stopped selling them today. Nolan Ryan goes out for his 7th inning of work, having allowed 2 base hits in his last 15 innings. 1 to Toronto last Sunday and 1 to the Red Sox today. It did not figure in the run. As a matter of fact, if you're tuning in late, the run was as a result of a Ryan mistake. With 2 outs in the 1st inning and 2 strikes on the hitter Jim Rice. Ryan, looking like he was attempting to waste a pitch to set up Rice for something else, threw a wild pitch.
And that's the story of this game as far as the offense is concerned. Look at that ball explode. But a little bit low to Jody Reed, who has been on by an error and struck out. Pop foul out of play. For those who came out today expecting to see a pitcher's duel and a low-scoring ball game, or for watching at home for that matter, looking for a pitcher's duel or a low-scoring ball game, we've got it.
Gino Petrale with the only 2 Ranger hits. Journeyman outfielder Danny Heap the only Boston hit.
And it's 2 balls and a strike.
For our NBA fans, this shocker in Detroit at the half. The Celtics lead the Pistons 57-54. And at the half, the Lakers over Portland 56-46.
Interesting.
Well, wouldn't Boston winning in Detroit be a surprise?
That's what I mean. Fly ball, check swing foul outside at first. That would be interesting indeed.
The Oakland Detroit Tiger game's gone to the 3rd inning now, top 3. And Detroit has that 5-0 lead with Tanana over Storm Davis at this point. Well, the Tigers have been getting great pitching and no wins. In the last 5 days, they've lost 1-0, 2-1, 3-2. As Morris and Alexander have gotten hung out to dry.
Breaking ball, line down the left field line, fair ball, hit the chalk, and Jody Reed heads for second. A leadoff double, hit number 2 for Boston. So the Red Sox have a man at second and nobody out in the top of the 7th. Breaking ball, he went down and got it and pulled it.
Good job by Reed. Terrific job of hitting. My goodness. Because that was a good pitch he hit. That was not a pitcher's mistake.
So Jody's on second for Eddie Romero, and the infield is looking for Eddie to try to move that runner to third.
They may just go ahead and do this with a bunt rather than try to finesse him over there and try to get him over to third with Boggs at the plate, knowing what a good contact hitter Boggs is.
So Romero fails on the first attempt to move the runner with a bunt.
By the way, Merle, we should tell folks too that Romero's playing because of a shoulder injury suffered by Marty Barrett, their terrific second baseman. Barrett was hitting .321 when he went out of the lineup and has appeared in this series only once, and that was a pinch runner in the first game of the series.
No balls to strike. Nolan Ryan has given up 1 run and 2 hits, and Kenny Rogers gets ready in the pen. Again, the infield expecting the bunt. Romero tries it, fouls it off.
Now Romero's really got a tough job. He's down 0-2. He still wants to move the runner over. That means he's got to try with Ryan on the mound and in the hole in the count. He's got to try to finesse the ball to the right side of the infield. I think a little heat on the outer half of the plate might be in order here.
Either that or try to come in tight to him. Breaking ball, he wouldn't bite. One to nothing Red Sox, 7th inning.
With a man at second, the Rangers will go to a series of signs. Petrale, in fact, now trots out to Ryan, and I wonder if Gino got crossed up a little bit there.
I don't know. You know, we're talking about outside pitches, and Romero trying to go to the right side. I don't know if Romero could inside out Ryan or not. If they came tight, well, we'll see.
Let's see what
we'll be fans.
What Petrale flashes him now.
Breaking ball. Either way. Breaking ball, and again, Romero wouldn't chase it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1-0 Red Sox, 7th inning. Glad you could join us today on HSE.
Ryan basically a 3-pitch pitcher. Earlier in the sequence, Petrale used a 4.
And he does go to right field. He's got himself a base hit. But the run will not score. Sierra comes to the plate, overthrows the runner. Now they've got a man caught between first and second. Now they go for the runner at third. They got to run him down. And finally, Buechele flips to Ryan, who's got the ball. Now they're trying to get the runner to third. And Jody Reed was motioning for Romero. Come on third. I'll stay in the hot box. Come on to third.
Ed Romero makes not one but two bad running mistakes. Unbelievable running mistakes by Ed Romero, who for some reason broke for second when Sierra's throw was right at the cutoff man. And then with Reed doing a wonderful job in the hot box, Merle, he doesn't go over. Now watch Reed. Watch Reed. He's telling, I've got it, I got it. Come on down. See the left arm? Come on down. Come on down. He's saying, I've got this thing stopped. Too late. Romero has stopped, and the Red Sox wind up as though Romero had made an out.
You know, I think Romero misjudged where the ball was, or at least where the cutoff man was. And then when he got to second, I think he did the right thing, though, when Jody Reed was trying to get him to third, because they had a chance. The way they had Reed in the hot box there, and it had cut down the distance between Reed and the two that had him in the hot box. If Romero gets off second, they might not only have gotten Reed, but also Romero. The putout winds up going to Scotty Fletcher. The rest of it's yours, Norm.
Well, it went right fielder to the first baseman, to the shortstop, to the third baseman, to the catcher, to the third baseman, to the pitcher, to the shortstop.
Hey, you did that well. You know that?
That was the rundown. I was trying to take it down as the replay was up.
Wade Boggs getting a walk here with one out. And Danny Heap, they're going to take their chances with Danny Heap. They figure Boggs is 0 for 3, and a guy can really handle a bat. Might just be about due. And he's such a good contact hitter that they'll bring Heap up there. This will be the third walk off Nolan Ryan, fourth walk off Nolan Ryan.
By the way, in case you're scoring along with my adroit partner Merle Harmon,
what does it mean, by the way?
It is, the play goes 9-3-6-5-2-5-1-6 on the out on Reed.
I'm not from Detroit. Joe Morgan, a little chat.
Apparently can't bear to watch.
He's talking about base running. 2 on 1 out for Danny Heap, who is 1 for 3. He singled his last time up in the 5th inning. We're in the 7th. Breaking ball, strike.
Well, Merle, let's be honest here. If Romero simply stops at first, that's not a good situation for Texas. First and third, nobody out, and probably the best hitter in baseball at the plate. That's a tough spot, especially when Clemens is pitching. Now, if Ryan can get Heap to hit the ball on the ground, Heap does not run very well. He could get out of this thing.
Fastball, a little too close. Ryan still has plenty of heat left here in the 7th inning. One ball, one strike, 1 out, 2 on. Boston ahead 1-0. Danny Heap at the plate. Right in there.
Merle, that shocker in the NBA continues. It is now Boston 69-60. Mid-third period in Detroit.
Romero and Boggs are aboard for Boston. Breaking ball is hit to Palmeiro, out at second, back to first, got him!
There it was. Romero's base running mistake cost them a run.
A 3-6-3 the tough way, and the potential inning for Boston goes down the drain. Now let's see if the Rangers can do some business with the bottom of the 7th coming. Petrali, who has both hits for the Rangers, will lead off, followed by Leach and Buechele when we continue on HSE.
You can sign up to play in the first annual Charity Golf Classic at Preston Trail Golf Club. It benefits the American Cancer Society. The tournament is Monday, May 8th, and it's sponsored by Frito-Lay and American Airlines. For more information, call Jeff Rader today at area code 214-821-8515. There are still playing positions open for the morning round. Call Jeff Rader at 214-821-8515. Here the Rangers have gotten the emotional lift of wiggling out of an inning in which they probably should have allowed at least one run. Now they've got to get even with Clemens as we go bottom 7. Here's Merle Harmon.
And here's Dwight Evans in right field as Danny Heap is out of the ball game. Gino Petralli will lead off against Roger Clemens. The Rangers have not scored against Clemens in his last 3 outings against them. That would include 2 games last year.
That's only 23 innings, though.
Well, let's see if this is the one. If not, how about the next one?
Sometime this century, this streak will end.
You want to make that official?
I feel fairly certain that the Rangers will eventually score off Roger Clemens. Sometime.
You going to handicap it?
Well, we may have to go by years or groups of years, Merle. This guy's tough.
Petralli has both hits and a breaking ball strike.
And I realize Clemens comes off a beauty of a game, too, snuffing the White Sox out on 3 hits and 11 strikeouts.
1-2 to Petralli. Nobody on or out in the bottom of the 7th. Boston 1, Texas nothing. Strike. So Petralli is called out on strikes to start the bottom of the 7th, and that's the 4th K for Roger Clemens.
Leach.
Clemens started the game, his game rather, in the bottom of the 1st by fanning C. Gillespie. He didn't strike out another batter until the 5th when he got Fletcher to end the inning. Then he got Palmeiro to start the 6th, and now Petralli to start the 7th. 1 ball, no strikes to Rick Leach. One and 0, 1 out.
Well, they're having a dandy in California today, Merle, as the Blue Jays and the California Angels are scoreless in the 5th. That's Cerruti and Witt.
Mike.
Yes, Mike Witt.
Fouled away by Leach.
Bobby Witt tomorrow night on HSE.
Bobby 3-0. Well, let's put up the book on Roger Clemens. 6 1/3. 2 hits, 2 walks, 4 Ks.
That book is not recommended reading if you're a Ranger hitter.
Yes. Here's the 95th pitch. And Leach couldn't connect. So now 2 strikeouts in a row here in the 7th. And Steve Buechele will bat.
By the way, in case you missed it earlier, Ellis Burks from Everman was taken out of the game as a precaution in the 1st inning, hit in the left shoulder by a Nolan Ryan tailing fastball. The shoulder is bruised. It is not serious. He was not even removed to the hospital for x-rays or examination. Never left the bench. Simply a precautionary move. They took Burks out of the game.
Outside corner to Buechele.
Merle, after a Nolan Ryan fastball just missed my head, I would have been removed for 3 years as a precautionary measure.
Strike 2, outside corner. Oh, Norm, I've seen you standing there against those guys.
Right. With the cage in front of me, you mean, Merle, where I stand right behind the batting cage?
Yeah. Ellis Burks watching in the dugout. Well, actually, you had an oar out of a boat. And a ball outside, standing outside the batting cage.
If anything, Clemens looks like he's getting stronger. In the middle innings, he went to a lot of breaking stuff, sort of cruised for a couple innings. Now he's coming back with a good mixture of heaters here. And breaking ball.
Yep, and a roller to the right side. He may beat it out. Romero can't come up with it. It'll be a base hit for Steve Buechele.
Not a thing of beauty.
Any old way in this game.
Yeah.
Check swing.
Well, what do the Rangers have now? They have Petralli, who got a pretty good hard base hit between short and 3rd. They got a dying pigeon from Petralli and a check swing roller from Buechele. Those are the 3 hits. They're not exactly wearing Clemens out, Merle.
No.
1,429, 4,0439. It's the 2nd largest count of the season.
Breaking ball inside.
Total for the three-day series, 116,919, 116,
Jeff Stone at the plate with a count of 1 ball to no strike. Drive to left center field, and it is hauled in by Randy Kutcher. Looked like he had to take a second shot at that one. So no runs and a hit. We go on now to the 8th inning. Boston 1, Rangers nothing. HSE and Ranger baseball today from Arlington.
3-game series. The sellout today of 4,429. The second consecutive. The Rangers have never sold out back-to-back games. The 116,900 breaks by 3,000 the record set in June of 1979 when they drew 3 for a series against the Yankees. The crowd's just pouring out, and we'd have had more, Merle, except in a day game. They will not open that little patch of terrace seats, or they could have probably stuffed another 1,000 people or so in there.
Nolan Ryan showing Randy Kutcher. Some unbelievable pitches here is what it boils down to. Kutcher has walked twice, and the breaking ball low and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Kutcher replaced Ellis Burks, and the Ranger bullpen is now busy. I'll show you the activity after this pitch to Kutcher.
Nolan missing outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Drew Hall is the left-hander, along with Jeff Russell. Oh. 2-2. That one hung up. Kutcher was looking for a breaking ball away, and instead the ball sailed. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Got him.
Very bad pitch. Kutcher could have had his 3rd straight walk.
10 strikeouts for Nolan.
That is the 184th time in his career that Ryan has struck out 10 or more. 184 times.
Isn't that amazing?
Like we said earlier, if you think you're a good, solid major league rotation pitcher, starts 30 games a year, Ryan's working on his 7th year of striking 10 out in every start. My goodness.
Mike Greenwell is 0 for 2 and 0 for the series. Check that. He's 0 for 3. And it's fouled away.
And this hasn't been a very good visit to Texas for Mike.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. One run, 3 hits for Boston. No runs, 3 hits for Texas. Fouled away.
I got just what the Red Sox need, the beleaguered Red Sox. Rangers get a run, bottom of the 8th, force this thing to about 17 innings. Make the Red Sox play another 6 or 7 hours today.
Boy, they've really had low and inside. The night before they came in here, they had an extra inning ball game. They didn't get in.
The night before that, they went extra innings too. They went extras Wednesday.
Right.
And then Thursday, like you were talking about.
And being a travel day,
right,
wouldn't you know they'd play an extra.
Yep.
Then they get in here at 6 o'clock in the morning. Then they get a game that wasn't decided for almost 24 hours.
Yeah, it was suspended.
Fly ball right field, not deep. Sierra right there, and 2 down.
Well, look at it this way, Merle. They played about 4 hours on Wednesday. They played 5 hours on Thursday. They played 5.5 hours on Friday. They played almost 5 hours last night.
But they like the weather.
Tell you one thing, it cuts down on the post-game carousing, doesn't it?
Strike one to Jim Rice, who struck out in the 6th inning and is 0 for 2 today. The last time the Red Sox faced Nolan Ryan was 1979. Breaking ball. They got him in a twilight game.
Oh, great.
Ryan won 6-0. 12 strikeouts.
A twilight game. He's so much fun at twilight. Look out, Jim.
Fastball. Ryan thought he had it.
You be the umpire.
That's a tough pitch to take for a hitter.
Yeah, this is Matt, maybe one more pitch than Jim deserves.
So he just blows it by him. 11 strikeouts for Ryan. Now to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Rangers have the top of the order, and the fans are hoping. This will be the inning as they go out against Roger Clemens, the Rangers do, and we'll show it all to you on HSE.
Texas, the American League batting leaders, with some unusual names just behind them. Kelly Gruber and Eddie Williams. Tomorrow night, Pete O'Brien and Jerry Brown and Odie McDowell return to Arlington Stadium for first time as members of the Cleveland Indians. HSE televises both the Monday and Tuesday games of the series. Then the Yankees are in town for 2 big games Wednesday and Thursday. Barbara Bush, the First Lady, throws out the first pitch Thursday night. It's a big week of Texas Ranger baseball on HSE. Check your local listings for the games in your area. Bottom 8, the Rangers still trying to scratch on Roger Clemens. Here's Merle Harmon.
Thanks, Norm. And SB, after the first pitch, not connecting. SB 0 for 3, a strikeout, a line drive out to third, and a ground out to second. Fletcher to follow, and then Palmeiro will be up. Too close. The Red Sox got their run in the first inning without a hit. A walk, a fielder's choice, a hit batsman, a wild pitch. Loop to left field, and it'll be in there. So that's a start here in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, Merle, you're fond of calling Paul Molitor the igniter in Milwaukee. This is the igniter here, Cecil Espy.
You get him aboard, he can make things happen.
Yes, he can. Espy, who is second in stolen bases and in runs scored, is just 4 out of the league lead, tied for 6th at first with nobody out.
Here is Scott Fletcher, who is 0 for 3. Clemens, a reminder at first that he is aware there's a base runner over there.
Do you go by the book and bunt him up with Fletcher?
One run would look very big right now,
Yeah.
even if it were a tie run.
Well, especially with how tired the Boston bullpen is. This is the game that the Rangers, I don't think, would mind in the least bit going 11 or 12 innings, because the Red Sox bullpen is exhausted from the last few days of work.
SB, the base runner. Scotty Fletcher had a 5-game hitting streak snapped last night, but that hitting streak was a little bit deceiving because he had only 8 hits the last 45 times up. So now would be a good time for him to break out of it if called upon to hit the ball to right field, if they put a play on. But let's see what they do. And we had time called. They do nothing. I don't know who called time. Steve Palermo is the only man that can and did. Fletcher may have asked for it.
I didn't see anybody ask for it, did you? I'm not
really
second-guessing Steve, but looks like Steve called timeout.
Here are the principals. SB trying to get as much as he can at first base. Rich Gedman throws out about 36 or 7% of the base runners. I think it's in that area. Uh-oh. So Scott Fletcher does not move the runner as he pops up on the bunt. And SB still at first. Now Palmeiro will come.
First baseman Rafael Palmeiro.
Now the emphasis shifts on the Red Sox ability to hold SB and shoot him down if he tries to steal, because you know somewhere in this sequence that's a definite possibility for the Rangers.
Well, they'd like to, you know, if you have SB at second with Palmeiro being such a good contact hitter, you know, your percentage of getting that runner home would go up considerably. Runner back. I think the thing here that would be not too good, but they would take it, would be they'd have to have 2 or 3 base hits to get that run. Now, if they can get SB to second, 1 base hit would do it. So Roger Clemens, leading 1-0, has given up 4 hits. SB pretty good lead at first this time. Holding. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. It might be the best lead that he has had.
Important advantage to Texas with ball 1 to Palmeiro. It reduces Gedman's ability to pitch out. Now if he pitches out and guesses wrong, he puts his pitcher in a 2-0 hole. And even a good control pitcher with Clemens, you don't like to do that.
SB going, holding, and it is 2 balls and no strike.
Ooh, tough
SB,
hit.
a false break from first. Gedman came out of there. The other advantage the Rangers have if they run SB, with a left-handed batter up, Gedman doesn't have as good a shot as he would have with a right-handed batter up. If Palmeiro just kind of hangs in there. 2 balls, no strikes.
Good pitch to put your movement in the game. You know Clemens wants to throw a strike.
He did.
By the way, everything in the National League now final. The Astros have squeezed the Mets 7-6. The Cardinals have squeezed the Dodgers 4-3. Montreal over Atlanta 9-6. Pittsburgh plasters Frisco 11-1. Cubs 7, San Diego 3, and Cincinnati 5, Philly 3. All National League finals.
2 balls, a strike. SB at first. The Rangers trail 1-0. The last half of the 8th inning. 40,429 a sellout. One of the things SB is doing is trying to take the concentration away from Clemens, concentration of the hitter.
I think this is the pitch Clemens believes SB's going on.
He's holding, fouled off on the third base side, out of play. Again, SB made the false break for second.
Earl, I'm not sure that was a false break or if it was SB taking a couple of steps and realizing he had no break at all. A good base run like that.
Could be.
And will simply say, hey, I got no advantage here. This is crazy to go, and he'll stop.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The Red Sox scored in the first on a walk, a fielder's choice, a hit batsman, and a wild pitch. And that's been it. Tomorrow night, the Cleveland Indians. Rich Yett against undefeated Bobby Witt. Tuesday night, Craig Swindell, undefeated, against Jamie Moyer, undefeated.
The impatient fans getting on Clemens for throwing over to first to hold SB. But this is a critical point of this game.
Yes, sir. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Uh-oh. Better throw would have possibly gotten SB in trouble. And I'll tell you what, he looked like he was leaning and going on that one.
SB for the year, 13 out of 16 in steals.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Boston opponents have stolen 35 of 46, so the Red Sox aren't doing a very good job.
Again, SB had lengthened his lead by maybe a foot. And Gedman to the mound now to talk to his pitcher.
Well, if you're reading body language and the interior game, it appears Clemens is doing a lot of concentrating on SB at first base. Then he calls his catcher for a huddle. If you're robbing Clemens of concentration on the batter, that's a plus for Texas.
And the foul ball out of play. SB not going.
Boy, Red Sox 35 of 46 successful against them. They're allowing nearly 80%. Wow, that's not very good. Meanwhile, Boston stolen 8 bases and been caught 4 times.
They don't run much either.
No, they don't. Not much reason to run in Fenway, is there?
Nope. 2 balls, 2 strikes. SB going this time. Foul ball. He had a good jump.
That duel in California goes on. The Angels getting terrific pitching. They get a wonderful out from Jimmy Abbott last night. And today they've got 6 shutout innings from Mike Witt, 0-0 with Cerruti.
SB, as it turned out, it picked a good pitch to go on because the pitch was inside. Of course, Palmeiro couldn't take a chance that it was going to be in the strike zone, but the pitch was close enough that, and with SB's jump, it would have been a little bit troublesome for Gedman to come up out of there and throwing. Ooh, look out. Look out. He's okay. Runner going, 2-2 pitch, drill deep to right field. It's a hooking. It is a fair ball. Home run.
We talked of how SB had distracted Clemens' concentration, and Merle, this was a fat pitch to Palmeiro. This definitely was a pitcher's mistake that Palmeiro bashed off the screen attached to the foul pole.
The Rangers lead 2-1. The crowd is still standing. Sierra is up there, and the crowd has really come to life now as Texas goes ahead 2-1. Fly ball to center field. And Kutcher is there. 2 gone. So the Rangers get on the board and take the lead in the bottom of the 8th. And the crowd is still up. Julio Franco coming to the plate. I think the ball hit the foul pole, didn't it?
It hit the screen attached to it. But look at the location. Right down the middle. Out over the plate, and Palmeiro hits it off the screen. See, it hit the screen, the yellow screen. That screen's there to help the umpires call balls fair or foul.
So it's 1 ball to no strikes.
Now, Merle, as it hits the foul pole, Clemens knew he'd made a mistake.
And Franco lays off. Julio's 0 for 3 today, but he's had 2 homers in the series, 1 to win the game, the suspended game last night, and then a home run in the first inning of the regularly scheduled game last night.
And Merle, another prediction comes true. I told you they'd get runs off Clemens before this century was over.
Okay. Oh, no. Let me have that pitch back. Strike. Bob Stanley is on the right. Rob Murphy on the left for Boston. Wrapped up the middle and on into center field. A base hit for Franco.
Well, the igniters started it. Cecil Espy and the Rangers, who keep finding ways to win baseball games, are in a position to do it again as Joe Morgan visits Clemens.
So Franco gets his first hit of this game.
Morgan certainly won't take Clemens out at this point, would you think? 2-1 bottom 8. Sure, he wants to leave Clemens in to give him a shot at winning the game.
Yeah, I think he just told him, hey, big guy, you got some guys with some big bats coming up in Asaski and Gedman, and whatever else we need, we'll try to do for you in the 9th. Boy, that second run is so big in the bottom of the 8th inning, though, in a game like this.
Well, now, let us take you back to Ed Romero's base running mistake that definitely cost the Red Sox a run.
2 down, a runner at first. Gino Petralli, 2 out of 3, strike 1. And you know, Norm, in a game like this, so well pitched and generally so well played, but basically there hasn't been a whole lot to do. The pitchers have been in such tremendous control this afternoon. One little mistake.
Well, as you say, Merle, in a game between these two, mistakes get magnified because one mistake's liable to be the difference in a game.
So the Rangers lead 2-1. Palmeiro hit the screen on the foul pole. No balls, 2 strikes. High and away. You know, around the rim of the outfield seats, at the top, people are standing all the way around. 40,429. Pitch out, nothing moving there. Julio Franco at first. There, the folks standing out there. They don't want to miss anything. Breaking ball, strike 3. So a 2-run homer by Rafael Palmeiro, and look at Clemens as he leaves the mound for the dugout. Palmeiro's 3rd home run of the year, 15 and 16 RBIs have given the Rangers a lead as Palmeiro, and you see that greeting that Franco gave Palmeiro as they moved out onto the field at first base. Way to go, big guy. Now let's get him and go home. And a 2-1 lead for the Rangers going into the 9th. We'll be right back on HSE. For Texas to protect a 2-1 lead in a game that belongs to Nolan Ryan as the pitcher of record. This is the book on Russell. 11 1/3 innings, 4 saves, 9 strikeouts in 11 innings. Pete Incaviglia now in left field for Texas. And it's ball 1 to Nick Esaski leading off of the 9th. Nolan Ryan threw 136 pitches in 8 innings. Jeff Russell hoping to close it down here. Strike, gets 1-1 to Esaski, who has fanned 3 times against Ryan. 1 ball, 1 strike. Strike 2. Texas 2, Boston 1 in the 9th. Strike 3. The high hard one. That's 12 strikeouts in the game for Texas pitching. 11 belonging to Nolan Ryan. And Rich Gedman will bat. With 1 earned run in 8 innings today, Nolan Ryan's ERA goes to 2.06. Roger Clemens was 1.89 coming into the game. Strike 1 to Gedman. .95 miles an hour on the radar gun on Russell's last pitch. Fouled away, 0-2, and Russell quickly jumps ahead of Gedman. It took the Rangers 25 plus innings to score on Roger Clemens. To 2 appearances and 2 wins last year by Clemens over the Rangers. Breaking ball, chop foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Roger Clemens in the dugout, hoping that somehow the Red Sox can keep him in the game here. No balls, 2 strikes. Chop to second. Franco, 2 down. $40,429. Having to wait till the bottom of the 8th to see the Rangers take the lead, but now saying, oh, it was worth every minute of it. And Sam Horn Sam Horn is coming out of the Boston dugout to be a pinch hitter.
Number 30, Sam Horn.
This guy's got a pretty good bat.
Sam Horn. Reed.
So Horn comes on to bat for Jody Reed. Horn hitting only 111 with 2 RBIs. He's got some pop though. 2 down, nobody on, top of the 9th. Horn wants to step back and think about it a little bit. And again, time is called. Horn is 25 years old. He's from Dallas, although his home is in Birmingham, but he was born here. 2 down. Strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. 9th inning, 2-1 Texas. Home run by Palmeiro. Great pitching by Nolan Ryan. And also in relief, and Petrali to the mound. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tomorrow night, the Cleveland Indians, with Rich yet against undefeated Bobby Witt, who will go for his 4th straight victory. Tuesday night, Swindell and Moyer, they're both undefeated. Swindell 2-0 for Cleveland. Jamie Moyer 3-0 for the Rangers. Heading both for you on HSE. Strike 2. Russell is really heating it up, picking it up where Nolan Ryan left off. Now the crowd is up. 40,000 fans are getting up. They have had a ball today, seeing a brilliant pitching performance. And with 1 swing of the bat, Rafael Palmeiro has turned this game around. Strike 3! The hero, one of them anyway, Rafael Palmeiro, the 2-run homer, bottom of the 8th inning, 40,000 plus, waited patiently, and when Palmeiro took that swing, and when Jeff Russell fired this fastball by the pinch hitter Sam Horn, Bobby Valentine says, way to go, gang, hang in there, we'll find a way to win, and they did today. So, the great pitching of Nolan Ryan, great relief work by Jeff Russell, Rafael Palmeiro's home run, and of course, C. Gillespie getting aboard in the 8th inning, and nobody is leaving. Standing, applauding, as the Texas Rangers take the Boston series 2-1, stay in first place in the Western Division with their 17th win of the year against 5 defeats. And the Oakland Athletics are trailing Detroit 5-2 in the bottom of the 5th inning in Oakland. We'll come back to Arlington Stadium in just a moment. And so Rafael Palmeiro is our Texaco star of the game. A 2-run homer in the bottom of the 8th inning. Texaco, the star of the American Road, salutes Rafael Palmeiro. And so 40,425. Some are still standing. They're all visiting. They're all happy. I mean, whether they're in the ballpark or out of the ballpark, there's one subject of conversation right now.